Carol, the owner and creator of everything that you find at CarolJo's.com. I forgot to turn on one of my lights, so hold on a moment. You guys are not going to see me for a second while people are coming in because I'm turning on one of my ring lights. I'm sorry, I turned on one because I normally do one, but I forgot the second one. There, I don't feel like I'm such in the dark now. All right, welcome in, welcome in. If you would like, go ahead and say hi in the chats so that we know who is all here. Today is a tutorial day, so we will be making something today. Normally I go live 6 days a week on TikTok, 4 days a week on YouTube. I go live at the same time on YouTube and TikTok for, good morning, Rosie. Good morning, Yvonne. I am doing good. I go live on both of them for tutorials and chat times. Today is a tutorial day. And then I also will go live on TikTok only for bead sales that happen on on Tuesdays and Fridays. And then I usually go live on Facebook and TikTok at the same time when I do a jewelry sale. So that's how I go live and where I go live at. We have today, here, I'm going to move this down just a little bit. I feel like I am like way up in the air here. And you guys are seeing all my beads and not, oop, there we go. There we go. All right, we are going to be making anklets today. Hi, Sissy. We are going to be making anklets with our polymer Heshy, their polymer clay, and the shape is Heshy beads today. This one is one that has the charm on it. And somebody said something that was a no-no on TikTok. Sorry. Maybe I have to repeat that in a different way. And then this one is one that is without a charm. There are different sizes to the Heshy beads. This one is a 4mm and this one is a 6mm. So there are different sizes too. Oh no, what were you trying to say, Rose? Let's see if we can reword it. So that is what we're going to be making today. Excuse me, as always on TikTok. If you guys could do 10 shares and 10,000 likes, I will do jewelry giveaway today since it's a jewelry tutorial day. All right. Okay, so we'll see. The supplies that you will need to make the anklets, I keep saying bracelets, but they're anklets, is the polymer Heshy beads. You will need a lobster clasp. You will need, I use split rings instead of jump rings for these, just for added security. And you will need 2 crimp tubes. Now, I'm going to show you up close. On the 6mm, I do have 2 3mm size silver plated beads on here. And I added that because of the holes in the beads are larger than my crimp tube. So it will go over my crimp tube and then it just creates extra space. So if you add the 2 beads, it holds it in place. I do not have that here on the 4mm because the size of the circle on the inside of the bead is small enough. It doesn't do that. So you just have to know if your beads are big enough that they're going to be going into the crimp tube. And if they are, then just add a bead on each end. And I have the wire is something else that I used. And then if you do add the charm here, in this one I have a sunglasses charm on it. I have not sold this charm yet. It's still coming up for sale. This charm also has on there, and you can either do a split ring or a jump ring, and I put a jump ring on there. So those are the supplies you'll need. So anyways, that is what you'll need for supplies. Now for tools, I have 2 of the bead stoppers. The reason why I have 2 is that I make the full bracelet before I added the charm, and I needed it on both ends for when I went to put the charm on so nothing would fall off. So that's why I have 2. If you're going to add the charm, you will need 2 of the flat nose or chain nose pliers. You will need wire cutters for both of them, and you'll need a crimper pliers for both of them. Also, I forgot this in the video that I sent out just a few minutes ago. You'll need a ruler, so you'll know how long to make it. So the average size for anklets is 9 inches. I can tell you, for me personally, my ankle is not average. My ankle is way above average. My wrist, below average. The rest of the body, above average. So I've already measured, like if I were to have an anklet, I would need an 11-inch. So that's one thing to think about, is that everybody's ankle sizes are different. Now, to do that, all I did was take a piece of string, wrap it around where I would like it. How many branches? I didn't make branches. Is it supposed to be branches, Tay-Tay? Or is it a different one? A different word. Sorry, I was reading a comment over here on YouTube. So you will take a piece of string right where you want it to sit, have it meet together, and then just measure it to figure out how long it is. And that will get you there. Thank you, Laura, for the follow. So there will be math involved if you're going to make, bracelets. I make a ton of them and have them all out on my website. Today we are making anklets, and I made the 2 examples, and then we're going to do 2 of them here today on the live. Hi, Expressing My Heart. Thank you, Beautiful Disaster, for the follow. So here, if you look at this, I made these the average size of an anklet. I made them 9 inches. So what I did is I have a repeating pattern 6 times. So that means that these are polymer clay beads in the Heshy shape. So I'm going to bring this up close here on TikTok, and I'll bring it over to YouTube. If you notice, I have the hot pink and then the multicolor. Hot pink, multicolor. I repeated that pattern 6 times. I did have both of these on one side, and when I went to do this, I then moved half of them over here so that my clasp is in the center. I'm going to go show you over here. So we have the hot pink, the multicolor, hot pink, multicolor, repeat 6 times, and then move half of them over to the other side. And so when you do that, that is how I made even this one. This one isn't multicolor. This is just 2 color. So you have to have some math involved in this. And the math is, if I have 9 inches plus I have 6 patterns, so 9 divided by 6 is 1.5 inches. They say to always add on just a little bit extra for your clasp, and it can be up to 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch for that. So that's where I put in. So when I measured it, it was really tight, or, just right around my ankle without any wiggle room. This is going to give you your wiggle room. So I just decided, okay, 9 inches plus my clasp. And it made my math a little bit easier. Thank you, Terry, for the follow. So that means every pattern length here is 1.5 inches all the way around. To make it easier, I did 1 inch of the primary color and 1/2 inch of the secondary color. So that's how I did my math. Now, if you needed it bigger, like for me, when we would do the actual size of the bracelet, I would take 11 divided by 6, and then take that amount that it would be and divide. 2/3 would go to primary color and 1/3 to the secondary color. I know, it's math. Who likes to do math when you're trying to create jewelry? But that's how you will get your pattern. And I know here it's like 1/2 and 1/2 of there. So that is how I do my math to make this. Any questions about that part of it before I go on? Because I would like to make sure that that's understood before I go on. Because that was a lot of math on a Saturday morning. This is what I will say. Heshy beads, when you're dealing with the polymer clay Heshy beads, are not always the same size. Yes, you will be able to watch this again, Rose, on YouTube. I am recording this on YouTube and it will be available a little bit later. Thanks, Stacey Ann. I needed that. So that is why I don't count them. And also it is faster to do it if you just measure it. I know that sounds real. For me, it is faster. Good morning, Lolly. And we're doing math when you just got up. As always, we blah blah blah. It's Saturday morning and I'm having a hard time talking even. As always, we talked about that we will have this out here. So if it's just going over your head because it's a Saturday morning, totally understand. Always know you can go to YouTube and find the recording. Hi, sweetheart strings. So and to do that, if you're on TikTok, you just go to the CJS logo at the top, CJS logo at the bottom. You get to my bio. In my bio, there is a Linktree hyperlink. Tap that, scroll all the way to the bottom, and that gets you to my YouTube channel. Then you can subscribe to me so that, you know, when you're in YouTube, you'll be able to see it. So for those of you here on YouTube, if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe, please. That way you can come back and watch it again. So yes, so that is how I did the math to figure out my bracelets. So, or not bracelets. I keep calling them bracelets. They're anklets. So we're going to do the non-charm one example first. And you can do it with colors. You can do it, like here I only have 2 colors, or you can do it with the multicolor. So let me show you. I got to get the right end so I don't grab it and have Heshy beads all over my table, because there are some now, but not a lot. Thank you, Amy, for the follow. Here is a strand of the Heshy beads that comes in multiple colors. This is a pastel-y color. I did not use that one to do any of them today. This one is actually a 5mm size. It is not 6 and it is not 4. I think this one was the 5. And I don't have very many 5 in my collection. So if I would use it with the 6, it's going to look a little bit smaller. So I don't know that I want to do that. So I'm probably not going to use this one, but it just happened to be on my table and I am like putting the Heshy beads back on there. And I'm going to show you something as soon as I get these on there. That will help keep them on between uses, because having them come off of the wire and trying to get them back on or get them onto there sucks. If you can leave them on the wire that it came on, whether it be like a fishing line, I would leave them on there. And I will show you why as we're creating. But I just use Scotch tape. Take the top, fold it over in half, and then they don't fall off. Ta-da! And when you go to use it, you just pull this off. So that is what I will say about how to keep your beads on a strand between uses if you're just going to put them in a container. So what I am going to do for this one, I will use a pattern bead here and a solid bead here. So my pattern bead is going to be, they call this one white for some reason. It's really white and gray. I'm going to use that bead, and then I am going to pair it with a very bright bead. I'm going to pair it with this orange. Okay. And I have not used this orange, so I'll have to cut it open. So now, while we make this, I'm going to point you guys down to my bead mat. When it's pointed down to the bead mat, I cannot see comments on YouTube as well. So if I don't answer your comment, don't think that I'm ignoring you. It's just that I can't see it. I do have a backup account that I can do and look at on TikTok, so I'll be able to see those if I look at it. But I'm really not trying to ignore you guys. All right, we're going to take TikTok down first. And now we're going to do, here we go. All right. So now you guys see my bead mat. You see the 2 beads that we're going to be working with today. Here is our wire. And I am going to make this one a normal size one, so around 9 inches. I take and add about 3 to 4 inches onto my wire to be able to do the closure. So if I'm doing 9, I would want between 12 and 13 inches. So just go ahead and do between 12 and 13 and cut off a piece. I don't have it to a science that says it's got to be exactly this length. Use your bead stopper, open it up, and put that on there. Now to do that, all you do is you take your 2 little, I call them my Mickey ears, open it up. You see how it has the springs open? And just put that in between the springs. Now, here on the orange, I'm going to cut open this. And when this happens, sometimes they take off. And this first one, once you cut it, you don't always get it in there. But you can, see, some of them will fall off. You can just put those on here. And we're going to do about 1 inch. Doesn't have to be an exact 1 inch, but get it as close to an inch as possible. Now, what I was saying is, why do you want to keep it on that strand? You can just go into the center wire and take some of those beads and just put it on the wire. And then you don't have to string them. See how fast that was to put on that other part? Right now, I have my ruler handy when I'm doing this. I am at 7/8 of an inch, so I just need a few more. I probably have too much here, but let's go see. Nope, I do not ever use a spinner. I have never used a spinner. Was never taught. So that's 1 inch. And then I put a knot in this one, so I might have to. I think we'll get through this also. Let me see how long this is. Yeah, it'll go through almost all of it, so I will be able to do this. Just going to cut that edge off and then do a 1/2 inch. And literally, if you look at it, I'm putting my wire the opposite direction as the plastic here. So there's my wire, and you just go in here and just add a couple of beads on. And I want a 1/2 inch of that size, or of that color, I mean. So let's measure that. And I'm like 2 beads over. So put those 2 there. All right, now we're going to repeat it. So we're going to do 1 inch of the orange. Literally, I'm eyeballing it to see. Oh, well, thank you. I never thought about that. I don't know how to do that. I'll have to look into it. There is, I can't remember how many inches are on a strand, expressing my heart, Wendy. I sell the strands for $2.50 a strand when I sell them. And I cannot for the life of me remember. Oops, it's over here. Nope, it's on this end. I'm trying to remember which end was my end here. I do the Heshy beads, polymer clay Heshy beads twice a year. So there, I'm going to go measure that, but this is the pattern that we've got. Let's see, and that's a 1/2 inch. And when I sell the Heshy beads, some people will buy multiples of the same color. We have, people will tell you when they've done that, you don't need to do that. Because there's a lot on one of these strands. Whoa, I just pulled them all off. Darn it. But they are all sitting here so I could grab them. Whew. You can do stretchy if you want. I just don't do stretchy anklets. I do wire anklets. I have made a stretchy anklet. I don't like the feel of it. I know it sounds weird, but I just don't like the feel of it, that it's not secure as much. But like when you do bracelets, you can do those with the stretchy, or you can do them with elastic cord. We do earrings too with the Heshy clay beads. Let's see how much we got here. This is, I think it's over 1 inch. Just a smidge over. Okay. All right. Got that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 2 more to go. And this one is going to be the one without the charm. Let's do 2 more. Put 1 more bead. We have those right here. The white and gray is a Heshy. They're both polymer clay Heshy beads, Cindy. Yep, that's fine. No need to be, as I say, here on this channel, no need to ever be sorry for asking any questions. Whoop, I almost lost that one off of, one of them did pop off. Let's see where we're at. We need 7/8, so we need a couple more. There. And now for the last section. Of the white with the gray. Let's see how much we have. We're at about 1/3 of an inch, so I'm just going to grab a couple more. Do 2 more. I'm going to do, that would make sense. We're right at 9 inches for our anklet. I keep saying bracelet. Sorry, everybody. So if you noticed, we have solid orange on this side, and then we've got our pattern bead here. Yes, you could. Okay, so I personally, Cindy, so there's a question over on TikTok. I said you could use either the stretchy cord or the elastic cord to do it. And is there a difference? There is a difference, and it really comes down to preference. And it is which one you like to use. I personally like to use stretchy cord more. Any of you that know Zuli here, Zuli will use the elastic over stretchy, if I remember correctly. And the composition of them is a little bit different. To me, the elastic is more fibrous. And so when you cut it, you will see like all the different pieces that put that together. And the stretch cord is the, like you're talking about there, Cindy, it is the round circle. You can get it in colors. I use clear. It is a preference. I cannot keep the stretchy cord tied, or I'm sorry, not the stretchy cord. I cannot keep the elastic tied, and it splits just like you're talking about. So I don't prefer to use it, but others have figured out how to use it and how to use it, and it works for them. So I do stretchy cord. Now, so because our pattern, if we put on our clasp, it will be kind of weird to end it this way. So what you do is you take off your bead stopper and find the halfway point on that first orange section. So let's say right about there. It's an eyeball. It does not have to be perfect. And just move that to the other side. You're welcome, Cindy. Put on the bead stopper on one side, and then you have it just about half and half. Does it have to be perfect? No, I am not about it having to be perfect. I'm just like, my pattern has to be the same, but it does not have to be perfect on like every single piece has the same amount of beads or the same exact length, because Heshi bead slices in the polymer clay are cut a little bit differently, each one of them. Some will be paper thin and some of them will be a little bit thicker. All right, now to close this off, what I'm going to do first before we do that, take a piece of tape and just put that on the end of the orange bead strand, and I'm going to put it away and get it out of the way so that you guys can see what I'm doing and not be distracted with all the stuff on the table. There's just a little bit on that one. Might have to get another strand of that. I love that one. All right. I do one of my crimp tubes. See if you guys can see that there. I'm going to try to get it. It's hard to get it to focus when I'm pointing down. Maybe that way would be a little bit better. This is a 2mm size. Yep, they are. But for this one, because you split it, it puts it halfway here, as this is what's going to be on their outside. So think about it from that aspect too. I know that it's always odds are pleasing, but with this, when you look at it, you have halfway across from your closure. You have a solid one. I know it sounds weird. But for crimp tubes, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. Crimp tubes always use sterling silver. They will come in silver plated. The sterling silver will harden around when you use your crimp pliers on it, and it will hold it in place. The silver plated does not harden around it, and it'll slide off easier, and you will lose your design. And so we don't want to use your design. So there are some things that I will tell you, you don't have to spend a ton of money on getting started doing jewelry in the beads that you're using and that type of thing. But there are a couple of things that I tell you do not scrimp on. And one of them is the crimp tubes. You can also use crimp beads if you prefer crimp beads, but I happen to prefer crimp tubes. And these are 2mm size crimp tubes in sterling silver. Put one of the crimp tubes on. So you'll see there's the crimp tube. Half of your clasp closure, which this one is a lobster clasp. Whoops, he fell off because I didn't hold him on there. There we go. There, we've got half of our clasp, which is the lobster, or half of our closure, which is a lobster clasp. Bend that around backwards and go back through your crimp tube. And like this. And if you notice, I will move this down. So this can wiggle, but there's not a lot of extra space to create dead space, open space. You want this, you don't want this to be up tight to here so that this doesn't dangle. That will cut your wire and you will lose it. Oh, I was going to say, my dad didn't. Was that yours? Nope, I don't use crimp covers. I don't. It's just something that I have never gotten into. Crimp covers are a preference on what you want to do. So that is our crimp. So now I'm going to take my crimp plier. There are 2 holes to your crimp plier. There you can see both of them. We do this back one towards the handle first, and then we do the front one second. Ooh, there we go. I don't know if you, there you go. You can see them there on YouTube. The first one, when you do it, there we go. You put it in there and you put it down, and your crimp will look like It is an open hot dog bun. If I can get it to focus. There we go. You see how it's got that divot in there? That's what the first one does. You turn it sideways and position your tool on there and then go down again. And that closes it up. That might not be very focused. There is a, oh, darn it. I'm going to have to take that one off for a second because I'm going to show it to you before I cut it off so you understand what I'm saying. So some of the beads will have a bigger hole and they will go over your crimp, and you don't want that because that will then create space in your design that you don't want. To get over that, and this is a 6 millimeter. The 6 millimeter, the other one I did, was the same way. And I totally spaced it off while we've been making this. I'm just going to grab a 3 millimeter size bead and put it on both ends. Thank you. There we go. All right. So I'm going to put that 3 millimeter size bead on there. And then now I'll put the crimp tube back on, and we'll repeat that process with the lobster clasp side. If I can get it strong. There we go. The crimp covers will probably make it so that you didn't need to have that put on. I just don't use them. Some people use them because they think that their thoughts are, and I'm not trying to say it's wrong or in between, it is a more polished look. Take the beads and go over that wire that we have, that extra wire, and cover it up. And then go to the other end. Add your other crimp tube. Whoops, before you do the crimp tube, do your 3 millimeter size bead, then the crimp tube. And now I have a split ring here. It's just a 6 millimeter size split ring that I use on the other end. I use a split ring on these just because to me it gives you a little bit. Yeah, let me double check here, Silver Girl, in just a second. It gives it a little bit more stability than a jump ring. So that is why I use split rings more times than not. It doesn't open. There, it's coming through. Sometimes you will need your pliers to pull that little piece of wire through, and I do here. I can only get it through that 3 millimeter bead. I could not get them to go into the Heshy bead. I'm not going to fight it and make sure it goes in there. And as you can see, you just have to like wiggle with it a little bit to get that so that this is still movable. It's not tight, but I do not have extra space in between my beads where you can see the wire. So you just have to wiggle to do that, and it takes time. Hi, Monique. Now let me go ahead here and crimp this. I do have a YouTube video on crimping that's close up, so I'm not going to probably spend a lot of time explaining that one in detail. So I would say go watch that YouTube video. Cut off the little extra. My split ring is not sterling silver. You can use sterling silver if you want. There it is with the closure. And this is the entire bracelet on average size. I have been doing it for 19 years in May. I've had a business for 18, making jewelry for 19. So when Cindy's asking over here on TikTok about sterling silver, you can use sterling silver 3 millimeter beads. You could use a sterling silver clasp, and you could use a sterling silver jump or split ring. They do sell those in all of those in sterling silver. It makes it more expensive. So depending on the price point that you want to be at for who you are selling to, you get to decide what you want to use for the metals. My entire business that I have for my jewelry making side is based on making affordable jewelry so that you can change it out. So for me, I am not going to use the sterling silver. I am going to use silver plated more times than not. If you want to get something that's in between the silver plated and the sterling silver, you can do stainless steel. So there are 3 options, and depending on the price point you want to be at. So yes. All right. So here, this was the example that I made earlier, and here's the one we made now. So that is how you can do that. You can do them as all solids. You can do them with a print in there. We could have done a print here and a solid there, however you want to do it. This is just the design that I was thinking I wanted to do. You can change this up in any way, shape, or form with the Heshy clay beads and make it your own. Because one of the things is that we weren't sure if you could actually wear these to a pool. Yes, you can wear them in a pool. I'm going to give some advice when you wear something in a pool for jewelry. It doesn't last as long. So if you want to do it, you know, it's not going to last as long. And what happens is that the chlorines and the chemicals that are in that pool water will break your wire at some point. So it could be a month from now, it could be 6 months from now, but it will not last as long if you shower, bathe, any way, shape, or form, or in a pool, lake, or that type of thing in water, they don't last as long. But we have found out these the Heshy clay beads do not distort when they're wet, and they work in there. All right. So that is what I will say about that. But I was like, hey, cool, then we can do these. Now, we're going to do another bracelet net or anklet. I keep saying bracelet today. Woo! This one is going to have a charm. The example one I did here, let me go this way so you can see the charm, is just a pair of sunglasses. The charm that I picked to do for our example now is the peace sign. I have not sold this one yet. It will be coming up. I have the extra ones that I haven't sold yet sitting over here. So those two, both of those have not been available yet. All right. So now we get to pick out some beads to put that on. And I have both my, oh, I should put these away here, my 4 millimeters and my 6 millimeters out. So hold on. I'm going to see about 4 millimeters and see what sizes we have there and what we want to do for our peace sign. See, this, I don't have as many 4 millimeter colors. I have more to sell. This is just all I have in my personal collection. All right. Now, when I think peace, I think bright, vibrant colors. And I have this one is my mixed 4 millimeter that I have. So we could do that one, and we could do it with, I don't want to do the hot pink because we already did one example on hot pink. So let me see. What do those look like together? Yeah, that's okay. It's not exactly what I'm looking for. That one's a little better. How about the tealy color? Yee, I think the teal. Nope, yes, Heshy beads will come in different materials. This is polymer clay Heshy beads. Last night we sold no, we had columns last night. It was Tuesday night, I believe. We had the shell Heshy beads. So it was like the mother of pearl or the freshwater shell beads. They will be, you can get them. I've had coconut Heshy beads. We have, and I think I have more coconut coming in one of my orders. You can get them in different gemstones. You can get them in glass. So yes. Oh no, go ahead and ask. You can ask and we can say it. Oh, hematite, you were correct. Yep, hematite. Hi, Nina. Whoops, hold on. I'm trying to get out of my own live. I don't want to do that. Okay. Now we're going to get a piece of wire again. This is going to be 12 to 13 inches for a 9-inch bracelet. And you can go larger if you want to have a little bit extra room. There's my wire. I'm like, where did my wire jump to? All right. So here we go with our teal. We're going to do an inch again. Do I take some of them? Sometimes. I have personally so many beads that I don't always do it. The reason being is, you guys have seen all the rondelles that I have. I honestly don't need more of the rondelle glass or the glass round. I have them all in my own collection already before that. Thank you, Amy, for the follow. But sometimes when I will get in some of the other ones, I will keep some of them. All right, so I did 1 inch of the teal, and you guys could see that I was measuring that. Now I'm going to do a 1/2 inch of the mix. Whoa, I lost some there, which is okay because I need to add a couple more on here. I do not make the Heshi polymer clay beads. I buy them on the strands. Just to let you know. I got too many now. Got to take a couple off. There we go. So here is going to be our pattern. We've got the teal, and then we have that multicolor. So we're going to have some really bright ones here. But with a peace sign, I think it'll be cool. I do not make beads. I've tried to make the polymer clays into beads, and I suck at it. I will be honest. I buy them. Oh, nope. I was talking about us making this. I do not make glass beads either because I'm afraid of fire. And you know what? Alexa never turned my music on, and I just realized it 45 minutes into it. All right, let's see how many we have here. I need like 2 more. Okay, here is our end. We'll do another inch of the main color. Oh, cool. You have to let me know how it goes. Because if people can make them, I think it's really cool. I just stink at it. I've tried. Oh, yes. See, and I gave up all of my other, that's a 1/2 inch. So I'm doing 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1/2 inch. The reason being is that will get us 6 patterns for a total of 9 inches. I gave up a lot of my other crafting when I started doing jewelry because I find I enjoy jewelry more. And it's because we get instant gratification. Uh-oh. Are we talking about the TikTok ones? or real ones, Miss Rose? These are polymer clay Heshy beads. They're polymer clay beads that are in the Heshy bead shape. And a Heshy bead is more of like a slice. So if you look at it, it's like a slice of that. And they're in different little sizes in there. Ah. Okay, got about too many on this one, so I'm going to take a couple off, and then we're going to do our 1/2 inch. The reason being, for anybody who joined us, is we're doing a 9-inch anklet with 6 patterns. When you do 9 divided by 6, it's 1.5, so 1.5 inches for each section. Divide that into, I did it as a third, so it's 1 inch and 1/2 an inch. If your anklet size is a little bit different, you just have to take the total amount of your anklet, divide it by 6, and then take that amount, and 2/3 will be the main color, 1/3 will be the secondary color. So in this case, our main color is the tealy color, and then the multicolor is the secondary color. We've got 4 of the pattern on, and we're going to go to 6. And that one is way over an inch. Yeah, that's 1.25 inches. So we'll take some of those off, and then we will put on 1/2 inch of the multicolor. And that's just a little bit over, so we'll go that way. We'll grab our extras that we took off. This is the part I don't like, is when that you have them loose. They're not as easy to get on. I really do prefer to try to take them off of the strand because it's faster. I was going to say, I do not see any taps going through, so I'm wondering if TikTok is not liking tapping today. So before we get done, I will do a giveaway. Ooh, I don't have enough there. Oh, now all of a sudden it went. That was funny. Okay, we are at 1 inch. Let me grab these 2 and put them on. And now we're going to do a 1/2 inch of this one. And you can make your own mix if you want. You just take some other colors and put them together. You can do that. I just was able to get a few. I do not have very many of the mixes, but you can do that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're at the, woohoo! Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm seeing them coming through now. All right. So we have 6 total here. Now, to do this, you're going to take this the first one that you put on, find approximately the halfway point. So we're going to say about right here. Move that away from the other ones. Take your wire and put it through the center of the beads and transfer them to the other side. So now, you see, we have half of that first inch on each side, and then we've got our pattern. At the ends of this one, we're going to put the charm on. I'm going to show you how I did it. There and there. So now I have room on my wire. I'm going to put these 2 together. Sorry, hold on. Someone wants to come live with me, but I'm not going to do that while I'm doing this demo. Find the halfway mark, open that up, set it down, and have half on each side. Then take a jump ring. Open up your jump ring. Didn't get that in there right, so it wouldn't open. There we go. Open your jump ring. Add your charm to it. And then add that to your wire. And then close it shut. And make sure that that is together. And then your charm is in the center there. You could do that if you knew where that exact one was, but the way I put them on, you can't do it. So that's what I do it. Yep, and so if you're trying to do it as you make it, I get off a little bit and it just doesn't look right. So I wait till I'm done and find the center. And it really truly is an eyeball center. I am not in there measuring it. You could measure it. I literally eyeballed it. So yes. So Tina's asking, what kind of wire do I use? I use beading wire. And it is a 21 strand beading wire where you have 21 small strands mixed, all wove together. The diameter of that beading wire is 0.8. You can get it in 7 strands, 19, 21, and 49. 7 strands isn't as movable. 49 is really movable, but it is more expensive. I go with the middle of the road with a 21. Thank you, Leisha, for the heart me. Now, I am going to get a piece of tape at the end of this one. And then I'm going to close it up here in just a second, but I want to get these strands off my table so I have more room. Go in there. And then I need another piece for the other one. Okay, here. And then we'll put that one in there. I literally use Scotch tape because if I try to tie them, I found out then when I want to try to do the thing that I was showing you there, it doesn't always work the same. So I found at one point I was tying them, but Scotch tape to me works better. I do need, because we had to cut one off, so I need one more of my crimp tubes. All right, so I'm going to take off one of my clasps, put on my crimp tube. I won't need the 3mm size on this one because the hole on this Heshy bead is smaller on a 4mm than it is on the 6mm. Well, I did not know that you can find this gift inspiring. That is funny. So we've got we've got our 2mm crimp tube. We have our lobster class running around there, and we're going to go over the top of the lobster class and back through the crimp tube. Then you'll see that this still wiggles. We have a little bit of room in between, but not a lot, between the crimp tube and our closure. You don't want that up there really close to it. And what I mean by that is we're really close. That is going to, see how that doesn't move? That will make it so that your wire breaks. So go back just a little bit, just have a little bit of room in there, not a lot, but allow this to wiggle around. Grab your crimp pliers in the back hole, crimp it so that you get the U shape or open hot dog bun, turn it sideways, crimp it down again on the front one, and then you've got your crimp all done in there. And like I said, I do have a video on how to crimp out on YouTube. So if you're on TikTok to get there, you just go to that CJS logo at the top, that CJS logo at the bottom, and then you're in my bio, tap on the link tree hyperlink, and the bottom link is YouTube. And that's how you can get there and go see all the videos that I have saved. This video will be out on YouTube as one of my lives. So I've got the bottom half done. I took off my closure, or not my closure, my bead stopper, I'm going to put on half, the other half, which was the crimp tube and the split ring here. Go around the split ring and go through the crimp tube. Hey, I got through some of the Heshy beads, the polymer clay beads, Heshy shape. I don't know why I keep calling them Heshy beads. And then you're just going to wiggle down that wire by pulling on this end. So if you can see that there, I was just pulling on that and that pulled it through. I still have a wiggly room and a little bit of space, but not a lot. If you look, I do not have any space here and it moves. It's not stiff. Now grab your pliers in the back hole, make the U, turn it sideways and smash them together. Whoops. When you hear that noise, it means it moved. There we go. Thank you, Diana, for the follow. Now hold this up and you'll see that your wire goes straight up. You have a nice even thing. Smooth. You can take your flat nose cutters or flat sided cutter and get it right in there and just cut off that excess wire and throw it away. And then you open that up and put that on and you have a peace sign. I'm going to come up now because that was the last tutorial and we're going to do our giveaway here in just a moment. But here you go. There is the peace sign bracelet. Very easily to make. And I was going to say, thank you, Joyce, for the follow. Thank you, Beauty by Val, for the follow. So we've made 2 of them with the 4mm size. Yes, my mix is the same between the 2. We got hot pink and we have teal. But we have different style charms. Here, we'll get the front side of the charm there. See how the difference in color just makes what color will pop out in that mix? And you can do it with just no charm, solid color or patterns, whatever you want to do. It's really up to you. But I wanted to share with you an idea and you can make it your own. So if you end up, thank you, Angie, it's Angie for the follow. If you guys end up doing it, just if you post it to social media, just go ahead and like at me or, somehow or another, get me in that so I can see what you guys do, please. Hey, Mary. So I love seeing what you guys create. And you can make it your own in any way, shape, or form. I just want to share what I thought. All right, we are going to do a giveaway of a piece of jewelry. So go ahead and I'm going to put a number here. All right, it's a number between 100 and 150. Go ahead and in the chat, put a number between 100 and 150. Even YouTube, you can do it too. Hey, we already have a winner over here. Let me grab the piece of jewelry. We'll do this one. All right, let's see who is the winner. The number was 136. Tina, I'm going to write this down before I lose it. Tina R. There we go. You are the winner. So, I can't get it to do it. Yay, yes, it is you. So if I do not have your information, can you go to that CJS logo, and in the bio is address information for live events. I believe it's the second line in there. Can you fill out that form so that I can mail it to you? It is the end of the month, so I always send them out at the end of the month. So I'll be working on getting those out to you probably either tomorrow or Monday. Okay, so I need your address to do that. But here is what you will be receiving. It is synthetic morganite. Here, you got the 5 beads, and then you've got the clear rondelles with silver plated. So that is what you are going to win. There's a lot of people in here today. I'm having an exciting day. So if you'll do that for me, Tina, then I can mail that out to ya. All right. I'm going to follow you also on my backup account, so if I need to get a hold of you, I can. All right. That is what we had for today. I am so excited to have done these. To me, they scream summer and have a lot of fun with them. Like I said, if these are in there, there we go. All of a sudden, I'm going to exit. There we go. Whew, there we go. Finally. If because of the metals, even with the charms, the closure, that type of thing, it's not something that I would recommend to never take off. I always take off my jewelry before getting into the shower or water. But hey, you do you. Just know that when you do it, it might not last as long. Yep. We will have those for sale, Cindy. The sunglasses and the peace sign will be in the next charm sale, and I'm trying to figure out when that's going to be. It'll be a Saturday in July. I just don't know which one. So for those of you that are new, my charms are they're 35 cents a piece. We do it on a live and we just claim as we go. So go ahead and follow me, and I post out on Facebook what my schedule is. I'm trying to remember to put it out here on YouTube, or not YouTube, out on TikTok so you guys can see it also, but I don't always remember. But this is what we did. I go live Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Central, and Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturdays are my chat times and my tutorial times. Saturdays anywhere between 10 and 2 p.m., 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Hey, Joya, use your example that you gave. Here's what I came up with. Here is the ones with the charms. We have sunglasses and the peace sign, and here are just the solid colors. Joya's the one that gave me the inspiration for this. Literally, she was like, hey, I found out I can do my polymer clay beads in the pool. And this is what I came up with for a pattern. We will do bead sales every Tuesday at 8 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m. And then Friday afternoons, I usually sell jewelry at different times. We ended up having to cancel yesterday's jewelry sale. Sorry, everybody. But that's what it is. This next week with the holiday, it's not going to be that set into it. And I need to figure out what my schedule will be as we do it. Yep, I have not posted it yet. I still need to figure out what are all of our plans for the 4th of July. And as soon as I know all of that, I will then post it. So I know Monday, we will have a Monday no matter what. But it may not be posted until Monday afternoon because we're still trying to figure it all out. Oh, you're very welcome. We try sharing what we know here all the time. This community is really, truly about learning how to do jewelry. Everybody has inputs and gives ideas for it so that we can do it. Even last night, I had something that I was like, on. And when someone said something differently, it sparked a lot more of what we're going to do. So really, truly, we all learn and grow off of each other. And that's what we want. We want to create a group where we can all come and talk and have fun here. That's why we have chat times. That's why we have tutorials and why we have the sales. It just all cohesively goes together and makes this a fun community. So I'm so grateful for everybody who has joined in today and new. Come back and join us Monday at 8 p.m. Hi, CJJ. So that is what I have for today. You guys all have a great weekend. I am going to go work on getting the invoices done. I will not invoice today. They will go out tomorrow because we are going to go have a little bit of fun with Buttercup. So thank you, MH Meotters. Is that how we pronounce it? For the follow. Well, you go have fun, Joya. All right. Bye, TikTok. All right. Tanya, the anklets that I made today were 9 inches for the beads, and then you have about a 1/2 inch for the closure. It all depends on the size of everybody's anklet, and everybody has a different anklet. But I made them.
So, they bought their
hold on.
cars because of...
I got off of TikTok and then all of a sudden video went off. But I did it as the average size of an anklet. My ankle is bigger, so I would need a bigger one. But that's the size that I made them for today. Hopefully that helps answer your question. All right. I am going to get going. This will be available for you to watch. Oh, you're very welcome. And if you are new and liked what you saw today, please go ahead and subscribe. That way you will be notified when we have, if you turn your notifications on, when we upload videos and when I go live. I will go live 4 days a week here on YouTube. Twice is for chats and twice is for tutorials. So hope you have a fun day and we will see you on Monday. Bye.